is Dr. Ruben West. I'm having the privilege to interview Dr. Ed Womack. And he's created this book, and I'll have him tell you the title of the book again.
It's Use What's Left, the 7 strategies to optimize your rebound from setback.
And when he breaks down the word rebound, he's really teaching. He's giving us real information that has meat on the bone. And so this is the 4th strategy. And that 4th strategy is, tell him again, Dr. Ed Womack.
It's optimize opportunity.
Optimize opportunity. You know, I ask the question when I speak from time to time, have you ever had an idea for a product, a service, or an invention, and you don't know how you're going to do it, you don't know how it works, so you just get it, you know it's a great idea, but you don't do anything.
Exactly.
And then 6 months later, a year later, you see somebody else with that very same opportunity. And so sometimes we realize that the opportunity is lost, isn't it?
It's lost.
No, it's never lost. It's picked up by someone else, right?
Exactly.
So you have to you have to take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime within the lifetime of the opportunity. And so Dr. Ed Womack is talking about optimizing that opportunity. Tell us about that, Dr. Ed.
So you know what? It's amazing that you use that analogy of you have to take advantage of the opportunity in the time of you have to optimize the opportunity in a lifetime of the
opportunity. Yeah. Yeah, and that I like.
And what a lot of times we do is, like you say, we sit back, we rest on our laurels,
Mm-hmm.
typically because we're perhaps in a situation where we're doubting ourselves.
Right.
We're feeling as though we may not have the necessary talents, the abilities, the resources,
the tools,
the skill to go ahead and actually exercise or execute on whatever that opportunity is. But what I want to suggest to you is that you got to act like my surrogate mentor, Dr. Martin Luther King, says you got to take that first step.
Yes.
Even when you can't see the entire staircase,
right.
Because what that will lend itself to, and this I've experienced
right.
personally, and I'm gonna go out on the limb and be totally transparent with you guys in this training if I can.
Please.
And I don't even know if I've shared this story with you, Ruben.
Okay.
I was sitting there thinking, okay, I want to get into the capacity of speaking more, training more, but in a capacity that can change lives.
Right.
And so I'm searching through the internet, and I'm trolling in a positive way
right.
through Facebook.
Right.
And I stumble across this picture of this cat over in South Africa with Les Brown.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I can call him. I don't even think he's going to return my call.
Right.
And an hour later, I sent you an inbox message.
Right. Yeah.
So a little time went past. 2 days later, I really had forgotten about it. And I get a call back. It's like, look for Ed Womack. And I'm like, okay, who is this? And it was a fluke because normally if I don't have a name,
you ain't answer the phone.
I don't answer. I just leave out a voicemail.
Yeah, it wasn't a fluke. It was the universe lining up.
It was the universe lining up. And so I picked the phone up, and it was Dr. West.
Yeah.
You're talking about optimizing an opportunity. We chopped it up during our initial intake session. And although I had been a trainer for 20 years, I was a technical trainer.
Right.
I didn't know how to really, and I had no desire really to pour into people's lives the way that I did after I met you. And watching my Black Belt speaker team, watching Dr. West, watching some of the individuals that come down to the catering to the homeless, those soldiers of service, what I realized is that, but for the grace of God, there go any of us.
Any of us. Or all of us.
And my favorite book, the undisputed #1 bestseller, says that the greatest of you will be servants.
Yes.
And so what I realized and took away from that is that we've got to optimize the opportunity that presents itself at that time.
At that time.
And don't hesitate, because as Dr. West set up, you might look around and 3 months, 6 months later, somebody else done took off.
Right.
The opportunity didn't die. Somebody else just did it.
And here's another thing. Sometimes we don't always know. You said taking that first step, you don't have to know how it's going to end.
Yeah, exactly.
Just know how you're going to start. Right? And then know how to take the next step. And then we're focused on taking the next step. So many times, I say this to my clients that, don't decide to go to Dallas once all the lights turns green between here and Dallas. They're never going to be green at the same time.
Never.
That you're going to have to go to some stoplights. You may have to make a detour. You may have to stop, get some gas, refuel, take a nap, take a break, spend the night. But then you get back on the road and you go again.
Yep.
And so optimizing opportunity means going as far as you can, when you can. May have to take a break, may have to take a pause, but keep going. And here's one thing that you said earlier that when you and I were talking off the camera that I thought was really genius. And he said that when you look at all of the successful people that you know, most of us think that they are successful because of their resources, because they had all the right money, because they had the right background, because they had the right parenting, because they had the right schooling, they had the right education, they had the right finance. And you said, that ain't true.
That ain't.
He said, it wasn't their resources, it was their resourcefulness.
It was their resourcefulness.
And that's how you optimize opportunity. You be resourceful. You go a little bit of this way. Is there somebody over there that can help me? And maybe I have to check over here. And maybe I have to read a little book on it. Or maybe I have to invest. Maybe I have to pitch it to somebody that wants to invest in me. Maybe I have to get a partner. Maybe I have to get rid of a partner. Like all of these things are different resourcefulness that you talked about that was really enlightening, because what happens is you're gaining understanding. All these different decision makings are doing a couple of things. They're building your muscle at making a decision and taking action, but then you're learning what won't work. What did who was it? Edison said, "I didn't fail. I discovered 10,000 ways that wouldn't work."
That wouldn't work.
You're discovering things that won't work, but once you discover enough that won't, what'd you say? You'll discover the one that will.
That will.
Yeah,
that will.
That's the key to optimizing.
You got to optimize it, and got to act now.
Act now,
but do so, with the understanding there's a process.
Yes.
So let's not mislead anyone and help them to think that it's okay. But you gotta, when you optimize an opportunity, you gotta be committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be persistent.
Yes.
And just take that first step. You don't have to be great to get started.
Yes. No.
But you gotta start to eventually be great.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the key elements of being able to optimize the opportunity. And I'm just excited about what's about to happen to those setback survivors that are out there listening to this training.
I love it, Dr. Ed. Every single time we start this camera up, and be honest, between me and you, every time we turn it off, there's still more nuggets to come. So we're going to be back. Make sure you get these notes. Make sure you're filling out your workbook and getting the information in there. And when we come back, what's the next strategy?
You touched on, I thought, no, we can't go there just yet. The next nugget in the strategies is understanding builds knowledge.
Understanding builds knowledge.
Understanding builds knowledge.
We'll see you in the next segment.
All right.
If you've been sitting waiting for the answer, if you've been sitting waiting for something that you can get your teeth into and begin to execute on right now, use what's left is it. 21 days or less, and I guarantee you'll begin to see a difference in your life. So what you waiting on? Go ahead, text Rebound to 555-888 and not only get your copy of Use What's Left, but also get bonus access, which is normally valued at $97. But because we want to make certain that you have everything you need to optimize your rebound, we're going to give you access to the Live Your Best Life video library as well. So go ahead, act today, and watch your rebound take place tomorrow. Peace and blessings until we connect with you again. And thank you so much for supporting and following Use What's Left.